Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into something pretty unique. The top 10 global news stories from just the last 12 hours as of July 6th, 2025.
Yeah, it's a real snack shot.
Exactly. And our mission is really to get past the headlines,
Ah.
pull out those key insights so you can get quickly up to speed on some pretty critical global stuff.
And see how it all connects, right? Tech, environment, geopolitics.
Precisely. It's all interwoven. Okay, let's dive right in. First up, some tech news that really caught my eye.
Oh, yeah.
India's cabinet just okayed a nationwide rollout, the first fully AI-powered traffic management system. Think Delhi, Mumbai, major cities.
Wow. Okay. Fully AI powered.
Right. What does that actually mean in practice?
Yeah.
How revolutionary is it for something like, well, traffic?
Well, what's really insightful here isn't just the AI label, it's India's whole vision for managing cities.
Okay.
See, normal systems are kind of fixed or they just react.
Yeah.
This AI, it's constantly analyzing real-time data traffic flow, accidents, even air quality.
Air quality, too.
Yeah. And it uses that to predict jams, then optimize lights, reroute traffic before it even happens. It's a big jump from just automation to, like, predictive urban intelligence. It suggests this new way where, safety and environmental health are tied directly into how we move around.
That sounds incredible, honestly, especially if you've ever been stuck in traffic gridlock. But with that kind of big digital system, are there privacy worries? Or risks of relying too much on one thing?
That's a really important question. Absolutely. I mean, the amount of data needed, it definitely kicks off big discussions about privacy, data security.
Right.
It shows that trade-off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Between efficiency, the public good, and, well, our individual data rights in these smart cities.
Okay, so from that cutting-edge tech, let's pivot to something more foundational, maybe. Infrastructure that's struggling.
Right.
Look at Argentina. They just had this massive nationwide blackout. Over 30 million people affected.
30 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
And all because of a technical fault in their, well, aging power grid. What kind of fault takes down a whole country?
Reports are pointing towards a cascading failure. So probably started with a fault on a major transmission line.
Yeah.
And without enough backup systems or, modern breakers, the grid just couldn't contain it. It was like dominoes falling across the whole network. And beyond just the immediate chaos, Argentina's blackout is like a real-world stress test for global infrastructure resilience, isn't it?
Yeah, it really makes you think.
It shows how years of maybe underinvestment plus maybe more extreme weather,
Yeah.
it's creating these ticking time bombs for power grids in lots of places.
A stark reminder, definitely.
Yeah, sometimes the most boring infrastructure is the most crucial. You don't notice it until it's gone.
So true. And speaking of critical systems, let's shift to some big environmental and social changes. Brazil's Congress passed this landmark bill.
Yes, the mining ban.
Exactly, banning all mining in indigenous lands.
So,
It reverses this decades-old loophole, and then almost simultaneously, South Africa calls an emergency climate summit.
After that terrible heat wave.
Right, dozens of deaths. They're bringing together leaders from 22 African nations.
These are both incredibly significant, but in different ways,
How so?
Well, Brazil's move, that's a huge win for indigenous leaders. It's about environmental protection, sure, but also fundamental rights to land, to culture. It's a big step towards environmental justice.
Okay.
South Africa summit, though, that's a direct, urgent reaction to the physical impact of climate change happening right now. It screams, we need coordinated resilience planning like yesterday.
So long-term policy versus immediate crisis response.
Exactly. Two sides of the climate action coin, really.
Yeah, while we're talking about the planet's health, there's also this mystery impacting human health. The WHO has launched a global investigation.
Right, the childhood hepatitis spike.
Yeah, across Europe, Asia, South America. And the cause is still unclear. Theories are all over the place. Viruses, environmental triggers. What are the implications here?
Well, an outbreak like this, crossing continents with no clear cause, it really challenges our basic understanding of new health threats, doesn't it? It makes you wonder, are we facing new bugs we can't easily identify, or maybe overlooked environmental things we dismissed before?
Unsettling.
It is, and it really signals a need to maybe reevaluate our rapid response plans, our global diagnostics. It just underlines how connected we all are in health crises. A mystery somewhere can quickly become everyone's problem.
Definitely. Okay, finally, let's touch on the geopolitical stage, kind of weaving through all this.
Always complex.
Iran and the U.S. have resumed indirect nuclear talks in Oman. It's subtle, but maybe a sign of dialogue continuing despite tensions in the Gulf.
Right, quiet diplomacy.
But then, meanwhile, Russia conducts these large-scale naval drills near the Baltic states, and NATO's calling them provocative.
Yeah, you see that contrast all the time, don't you? It really shows that complex, careful dance of international relations.
I said, you mean...
Well, you've got the delicate diplomacy, those quiet, indirect talks trying to de-escalate things.
No.
And right alongside it, you have very open military posturing, like the Russian drills. It's fascinating how these things happen at the same time. It reflects these layered, often cautious strategies nations use.
It is a lot to take in, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, from AI's promise to fragile power grids, the quiet diplomacy versus loud drill.
The world doesn't stand still.
Not for a second. So we've covered tech breakthroughs, infrastructure weak spots, major environmental policy shifts, global health mysteries, and these ongoing geopolitical moves.
And this mix of stories, it really reminds us the world is this, rich tapestry. It's all interwoven challenges and innovations.
So the question for you listening is?
What stands out to you from all this, from these global movements? What implications do you personally see for the future of tech or climate or international stability? Something to think about.
Definitely. Keep exploring. Stay curious.